This is not a career. This is actually a conveyor belt. This is the harsh truth about coaching careers. And if you are listening today for the first time and you didn't listen to the Breakthrough Before You Burn Out podcast, make sure you check it out. Thank you for everyone who actually directly messaged me about that episode. It does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. And I'm here to keep serving and driving forward and creating leaders. And that's why today, really starting to understand that coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, sometimes not really treated like professionals. And there is a huge psychological disconnect. And I study this stuff and I love this stuff. About understanding placing of this, because for you, you're lucky because I've been through this. And one of the biggest unfortunate events that happens in a strength and conditioning coach's career is when they get to a club and all of the esteem that has been built underground. I've got a master's, I did a wicked dissertation. I'm the nuts. I've made changes with athletes. You come into that world and it means nothing. It doesn't mean as much as you may think. But, the marketing of postgraduate education tells you that you're a master of science. And what is that? Because if you're a master of science, then you must be able to coach. You must be able to do all these things. And it causes problems. And I remember, so back in the day, when I was working in Wasp Academy, there was a senior member of staff had gone away for on their summer holiday for 2 weeks. And so I had found that out and I said, can I come in and do 2 weeks? So I did 2 weeks with the first team. And what was really interesting, you fast realize what roles and the places that you have, because the first thing I got told to do was clean the Wattbikes down and recalibrate the Wattbikes. And I remember thinking, okay, this is kind of like the lowest jobs. I'm going to be that person for the next couple of weeks. I'll pay my dues and suck it up. But then also, I started to see a pattern in this, is that there was a group gym clean, but there was lots of cleaning responsibilities, laid on to the staff. Like the players did a gym clean, and culturally they're trying to be, good about things. But, ultimately there was a huge part of the job, which was literally being a gym cleaner, not a professional. And there was a huge expectation to put players' weights away for them and treat them like royalty. And, when I first started, I thought, fuck that, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting your fucking weights away for you. You need to earn that respect from me. So I didn't, which was interesting. And I got told off, and then I had to start like putting plates away. I think we've gone a little bit too far if people can't even load their own bars. I guess, I get that sometimes things need to move faster, but Jesus, I'm not taking your dumbbells out of the rack for you, mate. Come on, grow a pair. And there was a huge shift in me in that. And then I recalibrated the Wattbikes, and I come back to this story, and I do tell this quite often. It's quite funny. That then there was a coach there working at the time who'd worked in the English Institute of Sport, took himself really seriously. It was like, this is a serious, and I come from a rugby background, and I know that one thing rugby isn't is serious 100% of the time. And also I know that strength and conditioning is not as serious as we make it. We make it serious because we have a massive passion for it, and I think there is a compound nature of seriousness created within our profession purely based on the fact that we need to feel important. And we need to feel important, so we get that from one another as peer recognition rather than professional recognition. So because when you think about it from a coaching hierarchy, the head coach sets the plays and teaches the team how to win and harnesses the talent to win. The analyst helps provide information. So they're the two most important things. They do the research, they do the recon. Then you've got the physios and medical staff, which help players when they break. And then you've got the S&C coaches who make the players better or rehab them, or where does the significance come from? And I'm being deliberately obtuse to ask you that question because I found that out quite quickly. It's like I'm working with someone who's won the World Cup. What am I going to do from a strength and conditioning point of view that actually makes him better? How is that? World Player of the Year. How am I going to improve that player's performance when they're outstanding, stand out, and so there are these developmental windows. So you must decide as a coach, if you really want your back squats to make a difference, then your developmental window, you shouldn't be aspiring to work in senior sport. Your developmental window is with a developmental athlete, and that's where you can get your kicks out of it. So, and this is kind of back to the Wattbikes. So then they asked me to put a guide together of how to put the Wattbikes recalibrate because they kept breaking. And so what I did is I put it out, A4, laminated it, and on the last page I found a picture. Let's just say it wasn't it needed censoring. It was an adult entertainment picture that said keep riding, and then there was a man and a woman on a bicycle, and I think you can get the idea of it. It wasn't too bad, and it was really funny, and it said like happy riding on top of it. It's like something you'd get in a really bad t-shirt in Benidorm, or like a really cheap Tour de France store. So no, I wouldn't go to the Tour de France cyclist. It's way too serious. And I got told off for that as well. So how dare you? You can't do that. You can't do that. And I thought, Jesus Christ, can we have a bit of humor? Can we have a bit of sensibility here? Because like you've lost your fucking mind, mate, if you think that that's professionally unacceptable. You're in a rugby club. Okay, you're in a rugby club. You're not in, I was going to say fucking House of Commons, but they're as debaucherous as anyone else. So this is where the system is broken, and hopefully that little 5-minute amble has shown you like there's these broken natures in our system because we've been built up to believe one thing, and then actually the reality is completely different. So then we start to build resentment, neglect. And we kind of think, well, if I'm not even getting the respect I deserve, then why am I even here? What am I doing here? Why have I wasted all that time at university? I've got my master's. I've got to do this stupid fucking research project, research methods. Jesus. I wish they could just show you how to do it. Okay. As a coach, just do it for me. There should be someone that just, you pay someone to do it for you. And anyway, but I want you to really understand that in this situation, you need to step into the fact that you are a lot more than your job title. I was an assistant strength and conditioning coach, and then a senior strength and conditioning coach. The boss that fired me at Ealing changed his own job title to a high performance manager and still did the same job. And you're so much more than that as an individual. You are so much more than that. And a big part of legacy is about taking control of that, taking control of your contribution, your significance, your community, how you fulfill your basic core human needs through your profession. You are so much more of that because those are hard to scratch in those environments. So what I want you to understand is that if you're waiting for promotion, it's not coming. Okay, it is not coming because of the bottleneck of our career. So there's this conveyor belt, as I talked about. You go intern, you'll get a paid job, you'll start, and then you'll start getting confidence. You may work your way up to an assistant or a senior S&C coach, but you're never going to get the high performance manager job, which I think is a bullshit title anyway, within our profession, because it doesn't manage the total performance of the organization. So what you then, where do you go next? Well, then you're on the conveyor belt. You just think, I'll go to another club for a bit of variety, move my family across the world, all over the country, because I'm not going to get the hot spot because that guy's put his anchor in. He's just staying. He's staying into the top spot, or he's with another coach, and then the coach gets fired, so he just goes with him because he's his guy. And you're trying to find the next coach to be his guy. Otherwise, you are just on this conveyor belt when you need to think about really, is that worth it for my long-term peace of mind, my long-term practicality of life, when actually there is probably, if it's a money thing, all that money that you could be making is right in front of you in your local area, for example. You can build and run a really good business that doesn't really need you to be doing all these things. You could only work mornings. A great friend of mine has opened a gym, and he only works the mornings, and he's making well over 6 figures a year, and he's got 2 kids and a wife, and it's amazing. So there's so much, and you can still be working utilizing the advanced strength and conditioning techniques that get your gears going, get your juices going, but you also get the monetary reward, you get the lifestyle reward, you get all these other things that allow you to have a legacy. Because if you're a parent here, no one wants to be the parent that finishes a day of work, comes home for half an hour, and then the kid has to go to bed, and then you're up and gone to work before they're awake. What kind of life is that? So I want to leave you with that. How are you going to start thinking about building your legacy today? And if you need help, then please reach out to me, because I am willing to help you. At the moment, the mastermind is going to be reopening again after our first intake. We had over 60 coaches coming in the first intake. It's priced so well. It's priced for you, and they're doing really, really well. And we're going to open it up again very, very soon. Looking at Black Friday, potentially reopening it back up to bring you in. And if you just need to be a part of that movement at that level, you can. If you want to work closer with me and get under the hood like many coaches have over the last 5 years, then we will do that. You just need to take the step and ask for help, because I'm very, very good at giving it, and I will help you. I guarantee it. So stay tuned for the next episode. We have got some big hitters coming your way, and some amazing information. So remember, just send this to someone and go, even slag me off, I don't care, but just get it moving. If we get this thing moving through the airways, it's going to fall on someone's lap who needs to hear it. All right. So do yourself a favor, start building your legacy. This is our important podcast, here to stay, and I will see you on the next one.